Hey guys, hope you're all doing well today. So as I was going through all my Disney stuff, trying to reorganize some of it, try to consolidate as much as I could, I realized my suitcase was broke. And while I was online ordering it, it hit me that I've never actually done a Disney packing video on here, whether it's been in the vlog or as a separate standalone video. So that's what I want to do in this video here. I'm going to go over exactly what I pack in my luggage going down there, in my carry-on, and then what I actually pack in my bag, I guess, for when I go to the park separately. So stick around. Oh, and I have to warn you guys, if you guys hear anything in the back, cars driving by, birds chirping, whatever, I have my windows open. It's raining out and I love rain. It's very relaxing, so I had all the windows open, taking in all the fresh air. And if there's anything in this list that I feel is kind of important for trips, sorry if there's a glare in my face, I got the computer screen up on my side here. If there's anything that I feel is kind of important for you guys, I'm going to make sure to have all the links to the stuff below, such as luggage, portable chargers, electronics, cameras, stuff like that. I'll make sure to have any possible links below in the description box. If you have any questions on stuff I can't link to because the links don't exist anymore, for instance, I tried looking for my backpack link before and I couldn't find it. So if there's anything like that, we can talk about it in the comment section below, or if you want to shoot me a message on Facebook or on Twitter. So without further ado, let's get to the list. So as far as the luggage goes for just packing down there for clothing and hygienic stuff, I went with a little bit different feel this time. I usually go with luggage that is of a cloth material. Then I usually go with something that's kind of dark, just because that's more my style. I usually go with like a charcoal gray or a black or a royal navy blue or a mahogany type color. I decided to go with something hard, with a hard shell this time, as well as something very bright, so it's going to be a lot easier to find. The hard shell part added protection a little bit. I mean, people could still break into your luggage. That's not really going to stop anyone. I do like the fact that if I do get some stickers on the road, if I go to some Comic-Con type stuff or conventions overall, or vacations out of state, Disney World, gaming, if I get stickers for any of that stuff and I want to represent who I am, I can just plaster it right on the side of the suitcase and I'm done. So the luggage I actually went with was a Coolife luggage expandable 3-piece set. I'll actually have a picture right here so you guys can see it. It wasn't bad. The price was $130, which is not bad at all for a 3-piece set. It's actually more on the, like, I would say moderate side. It's not really cheap, but it's not really expensive either. I like the set, not just because it's a hard case and because it's a bright color, and I do like orange. I also like that each individual case has its own lock, which is awesome. Usually I have zip ties for stuff like that, which I'll get to a little bit later, but seeing that they all have their locks, I just have to learn how to set the locks and I should be fine. Alright, so I'm going to have a chart right here that has to do with temperatures. This has to do with the clothing that I will take. If I'm going more in the warmer months, I will take more of the shorts and t-shirts. If I'm going in the colder months, I'll obviously take t-shirts, but I'll focus more on jeans and sweatshirts or hoodies rather than shorts and just basic t-shirt. Now as for the amount of clothing, let's say I'm going for 7 days. I'll usually pack, on a 7-day trip, I'll pack 8 shirts. I'll usually pack 1 shirt for each day and then an extra shirt just in case, unless you're doing something really fancy and then you want to take a fancy dress shirt, because that's a whole other thing. Then you have pants and shorts. Let's say the trip is during the colder months, I will pack, if I'm going for 7 days, I will probably take 3 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of jeans, and 2 sweatshirts. I won't really go above 3 sweatshirts. It's going to be mostly warm down there anyway, so there really isn't any cold spurts down in Florida. And just because I do have some water rides, you definitely want to pack more pairs of socks. If you're going for 7 days, probably pack around 10 pairs of socks, just in case you end up getting soaked on, say, the Rapids ride in Animal Kingdom, or Splash Mountain on Magic Kingdom. you can get wet on some of those, so it's better just to plan ahead. And then I'll usually end up taking a couple pairs of shoes. I will take one pair of heavily walking shoes. I have a pair of Nikes that I have right now. Those are more heavily geared towards walking, and then I have just a regular casual shoe that I may wear later at night if I'm just going around the hotel, or if I just want to sit back and relax and maybe go to downtown Disney for the night and have dinner. And that basically covers it for all the clothes. Now moving on to the hygienics. Alright, so now I'm going to go over more of the hygienic stuff that I usually take with me. And for starters, disinfectant wipes are a big one. These are the Wet Ones brands. You don't need anything too strong. Basically, if something gets a little dirty, the big one probably be Animal Kingdom, since there is some dust that you can kick up, especially on the safari, or if you're just walking around. You could get a little dirty if you, I mean, there are a lot of kids there, so if you end up touching something that has a lot of grime on it or gunk, disinfectant wipes are a huge plus. So next is sunscreen. I'm a fair skinned person. I have a lot of Irish in my background, so I burn quite easily, but I usually end up taking 2 or 3 of these. I actually got on a little bit of a sale, so I picked up 2, and they're a good size, so I'll probably just go through these 2. I can go through a fair amount, apply it every few hours to keep the best protection possible. And you don't really have to worry about bugs too much when you're down there, so sticking to something that is just sunscreen and not bug repellent, totally fine. So highly recommend you go with 2 of these. It's Florida. It is going to have a very high chance of raining, even in the not so rainy seasons. So 1 poncho is really all I take. Chances are I won't even use this. I like sticking around the stores. If it's raining, perfect time to go shopping. Last time it rained when I was down in Florida, I was in Epcot, and I happened to be in the Japan Pavilion. So I just went inside the store and did a lot of shopping. I love the Japan Pavilion in the first place, so it really wasn't a big deal for me to just take some time off and go shopping. So rain poncho is a must. Nobody likes a bad smile, so toothbrush, toothpaste. Simple. Kleenex, just in case you have one of those moments, because even men cry. No, I'm just kidding. This is basically lens cleaner. If you need a last resort lens cleaner, highly recommend using something that's more of a softer material to wipe lenses with. But this is a last resort. If you get the sniffles while you're down there, I've had a couple times where I've gotten a little bit of a cold when I was down there. I might have caught something on the plane going to and from. These really help out, and this is only 99 cents for a 3-pack that will last me more than the week I'm there, so that's a deal. Just some other smaller hygienic things just to make the everyday experience just a little better. Q-tips, clippers, and other, you got a nail filing thing in there, you got the pointy little stick thing. I have no idea what that does. All I really need is the clippers. Deodorant, because nobody likes BO. Got to make sure to have dental floss. I usually keep a couple of the small ones. That should be enough to tide anyone over. I picked up shaving cream and a shaver. Not sure if I'm actually going to use them. I may clean up the beard every now and then, but I'm trying to grow it out. Small thing of Band-Aids, you don't need to overdo it. Maybe a few of each size. Just a small thing to help go, and it can fit in any bag. It's a really small container. I normally don't pack one of these, but it was in the section, so I figured, what the hey, but a lint roller of some sort. This is a small one. It was only like 79 cents. Got it at Target. I have a cat, so I'm gonna have fur on a lot of things even after I clean them, which is hard to believe. I don't understand how that really works, but anyway, lint roller, good to have. If you want to keep your shoes smelling nice, foot powder, some chapstick, flashlight, oh god, flashlight. Can't see. I had this in my pack. I probably won't use it for obvious reasons, but shampoo or conditioner, yeah, take little bottles. Take little bottles, take a couple of them. They do restock those in the, I have found in recent memory that, one, they obviously do restock the shampoo and the soap that you use in the shower, and that was fine for me. I'm a guy, I really don't care about the stuff I'm using as long as it cleans my hair. If it smells like lavenders or lilies, that's just a plus. Flowers rule. Okay, so the next few things are going to be more or less just the basics to cover everything. If you get a rash to something, if you get a headache to something, if you have a bad migraine, upset stomach, carrying the Tums with you. The Benadryl is, there you go, Benadryl. Keeping the Tylenol, ibuprofen, Advil, that stuff, just the little containers, the travel containers. That's just nice to have just in case something goes bad on the flight or you're down there and you catch something. For instance, if I'm in the heat way too long, I get past the point of burning. I'll still burn, but I also get a slight rash, especially on my hands. Benadryl really helps out for that. Plus, I'm allergic to a lot of red wines. Any alcohol that's really made from anything from like a pine tree, anything like that. So anytime I get an allergic reaction to something like that, I'll take a Benadryl and I'll be just fine. Comb, because yeah, I use one. It was just in there. Okay, so these are zip ties and small plastic bags, Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags for just in case something breaks, or if you want to keep stuff separated just for hygienic purposes. Like if you use your toothbrush and you throw it back in your bag, but you want it to have its own separate bag so it's not touching everything else and getting dirty, that's a plus. Zip ties I use to lock my luggage. This is more so for the old stuff, where on the new stuff I actually have locks that are on the sides of each bag. These were more so for the old ones that didn't have those type of locks. I would lock them just, as a safety precaution. Now, one small note about the actual luggage. The two hard shells that I'm going to be taking down, all of my clothes and hygienic stuff is going to be in the smaller container. It's a 3-piece set, but I'm only taking 2 of them just because I'm going with Southwest Airlines, and they have a 2-bag with, I think their policy is 2 bags and not over 50 pounds or something like that. I will take all of my clothing and hygienic stuff, put them into 1 bag, and then cram that 1 bag into the bigger bag so that I'm only taking 1 bag down to Florida, but I'm coming back with 2. That second bag is going to be filled with gifts and souvenirs when I'm down there. So it's a little tip. All right, now that we have all the hygienic stuff out of the way, I want to move on to the carry-on. The carry-on is also going to cover my bag going into the parks too, because I use this exact same bag. I got this Adidas, I guess you want to call it a sling backpack. There's a sling. I got this because it's to me it's a little more easier to use than a standard traditional backpack. All it does is slide over just one shoulder with this, and that's it. You don't have to worry about the 2 straps. The reason I got this one is because I mean, for one, it looks thin. It looks really thin, but it can hold a lot. This one has the large compartment in the front, the actual front pouch. The main compartment is huge itself. It also has a spot in here for tablets, for a camera. And then you also have under this main flap, you also have a huge compartment in here as well. So that's a huge plus. Not to mention you have a lot of smaller sections in here to store a lot of smaller stuff, such as a book when you're on the bus and you want to read something before the park, if you want to store your camera in there. Any smaller gifts you can put in here, stuff like that. What I really like about this is the actual strap that goes across your chest. There is a small pouch on here. This came in really helpful with either a camera, or I put my phone in here all the time. Instead of having it in my pocket, just cleared up more space in my pocket. Another bonus to this front strap is that if you're going down there and it's your first trip, or you're celebrating a wedding or your birthday or whatever, instead of putting, you'll get a big pin, and instead of putting that pin on your shirt, you could always just put it right on the strap. I did that, and all the cast members noticed that, and they said happy birthday, Eric, and it was just fun. You didn't have to wear it on your shirt, and it wasn't cumbersome. Alright, so as far as a lot of the stuff that goes in the carry-on, I'm a big electronic guy, so before I get into my electronics, I want to go over some of the more fundamental stuff that you definitely need to carry on you at all times. One is going to be any kind of money or financial stuff that you have. I usually have 3 envelopes. I got one for the hotel money, I got one for the airfare money, and then I also have one for just spending money. All of these will stay on me constantly at all times. I don't put them in the main luggage bag because there's way too many risks that can play out with that I don't like. Definitely keep all the money with you at all times. Another thing you always want to definitely keep on you are your passes. I highly recommend, because these are also linked to your Magic Band, which you should also carry with you sort of at all times. I mean, it's how, especially if you're staying at a Disney resort, this is not just your park pass into the park, but it is also your room key for a lot of people, and it's also your credit card. So highly recommend carrying this with you at all times, almost like a watch. But yeah, you definitely want to keep these on you. These are park passes. And also definitely take a picture, just in case you happen to lose one and you don't have a Magic Band with you. Taking a picture of these and going right up to the kiosk and talking to them, they are extremely helpful. And they can help you with anything you need, just in case you do lose them. I will also carry this with me. This is basically my itinerary. The whole planning that I've been doing up to now will be in this folder, as far as what we have planned for each day, all the hotel information, the plane information, any other information that I need about the parks. That'll all be in here. Highly recommend carrying this with you too, just in case something does change and you need to change it, like your reservations for your dining stuff. If you're having an issue with one of your dining things and you need to replan what you're doing, you can just pull it out and go over the plan and change it right then and there. You don't need to wait until you get off the airplane and take it out of your luggage. So there's this. Now this one's kind of more for me specifically, but I like collecting pins. I actually have a shadow box with a bunch of pins in it, so I'll keep any of the spare pins that I want to trade. I will keep those in a separate bag. Those I will also keep on my carry-on as well. Alright, so moving into the fun stuff, all my electronics that I usually take with me. For one, any of your stands for your electronics. This one is going to be for the main camera, that one. But then I also have one for the GoPro as well. That GoPro one is since I'm going to be taking the GoPro on water-based rides such as the Safari, the River Rapid, excuse me, in Animal Kingdom, or Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom. I'm making sure that one is floatable, just in case it does drop. You don't want to take any chances with it. But yeah, I have 2 tripods that I will be taking. One big key electronic, obviously, is going to be my phone. Obviously my phone, but it's also going to be one of my main cameras as well for taking pictures or shooting videos. This is also going to be this is the GoPro that I'm going to be taking with me. It is the GoPro 5, Hero 5 Black. This one's going to be going with me as well. And then this camera. Now the reason I like taking so many electronics is because you do have a lot of downtime, both on the airplane, in the airport when you're waiting around, as well as after each park. If you just want to come back to the hotel and chill, and you just want to turn on the TV, relax a little bit, go by the pool, you can always have your electronics to keep you company as well. The Switch is going to be going on me for my first trip. This is the first trip I'll be taking it on. Just got it not too long ago. Very excited. So the next electronic is actually a new addition to the family. I used to take my Nexus 7, but that was a mini and it was kind of small and it wasn't really fulfilling the needs that I wanted it to with movies and whatnot. So I kind of upgraded, got the Samsung Tab A, the 10-inch or the 10.1 inch. Very happy with this one. Big movie one. I'm huge when it comes to my movies. Love watching them. I'm going to be upgrading the memory in this and downloading a lot of videos onto it so I could watch them on the plane ride. Obviously you have your phone. Usually when I go down, I usually end up taking a Game Boy of sorts. Usually it's the newest one. I have taken my Game Boy Color on a couple trips, my Game Boy SP. I'm going to be taking my 2DS XL. I'm a huge fan of playing one of these back at the hotel. It's just very relaxing to me. So I'm definitely going to be taking, the nice thing about it is I usually have to end up taking a few games. A lot of my games are digital now with the old school Pokemon games such as Yellow and Gold, but then I also got Mega Man on here as well, and Kirby. So very much looking forward to just sitting back and relaxing and playing some of these games. Now this is a key thing that this isn't a recommendation, this is a must have. I recommend you must have one of these when you go on your trips. It's a portable charger. This one is from Anker. I got it on a good deal from the actual Anker website. This is a 13,000, I want to say. Yes, it's a PowerCore 13,000. This will power my phone a few times over, as well as my Switch and my tablet. And it's actually, I mean, it's a little on the heavier side. It weighs more than your smartphone, but it's not exactly huge and bulky. This is my wallet. It's not much bigger than my wallet. Actually, it's probably about the same size. Width-wise, length-wise, it's just fine. It's a huge plus. I didn't have this last time. I actually borrowed my parents, and my parents' one was maybe a quarter of this size, and it really helped out. So seeing that this one holds so much more power, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to use this. This one is really, it's not really a huge electronic, but it's a must if you're going down in warmer times. It's just a portable fan for you to take with you. You can hear that. Feels good. I actually carry this around with me. This is the O2 Cool one. It was only like $8 on Amazon. Not sure how much they are now. This was bought a while back, but I actually carry this with me on my job, and because right now it is around the high 80s with a real feel of like 90s. So having this thing with me, this actually does work, and I highly recommend them. Now this one actually isn't going to be in my carry-on, but I'm definitely going to have my Fitbit. I've become a huge fan of tracking how many steps I'm taking in, and this is it's a watch too, and a calendar, but this is a definite must for me. As well as a drawing book of some sort, just in case I don't want to stick my head in an electronic all day. I will take a pad and pencil, and I'll end up just doodling, drawing stuff on the airplane. Very good, relaxing. Or a book. I do have to go out and buy another book, because usually I take a Tom Clancy novel down with me as well. Huge fan of his stuff. Those usually keep me entertained for a little over a week when I'm reading them. Highly recommend taking a book down too. You don't want to keep your nose deep in electronic. You want to actually use your imagination and get a little smarter in the process. So highly recommend a book or a magazine or something you can actually read. Now as far as memory cards, chargers, and batteries go, that is solely up to you guys. I recommend going with doubling everything. I'm lucky enough that my phone and my Switch both go off of a Type-C USB cord, so I'll have two of those cords. I will also have two micro USB cords as well for my other electronics that go off of that one. Memory cards and batteries, I usually end up sticking with two. That really depends on what you're going to be using them for. If you're just taking pictures, you can get away with two memory cards that are only 4 gigabytes a piece. For me, I'm going to get into a lot more filming as well as video, or as well as picture taking. So this camera has a 16 gigabyte, and I will take a few other 8s and 16 as well. My GoPro only has one, and that's a 32 gigabyte, just because HD quality movies do take a bit more, and I only have one because I'm going to be going on just a couple rides with it, so it's not going to get a whole lot of use out of it. So I hope that gives you more of a description on memory cards, chargers, and batteries. Just basically double up on all of them if possible. And just a little side tip, it gets really easy to organize them if you label all of them. Now as far as what exactly I take into the parks, that is completely up to you as the individual. I will take my my main things being my park passes, my money, or my wallet, my cameras, my cell phone. Those will be the big ones. I also take a couple waters, just because water is free down there, but you got to go up to them. You got to go up to like a restaurant or something, ask for a cup so you can get some water. And from what I've been seeing, they're kind of small cups, so it's better just to take a couple bottles of water with you. I usually take like 2 or 3. I'll also take some of the hygienic stuff with me just in case, such as like the Benadryl, just in case I do get a rash from the heat, or if I have some wine that I didn't know I was allergic to, I will definitely take some of those. Sunscreen is a must. Like I said, I'm fair. I don't want to ruin this beautiful face, so I will take some sunscreen with me as well as some Tylenol. That could come in handy every now and then, and Band-Aids. But like I said, it is completely up to you what you actually do take into the parks. You don't want to overdo it either. I feel that if you overdo it, it just gets really hard to take all that stuff and the stuff that you're buying along the way. If you're going with 2-3 people, try to get all your stuff, if possible, into one bag. A lot of times when you go shopping and you end up buying multiple things, they'll give you a bigger bag to put all that stuff in, so you don't have to worry about putting it in your bag. And if you do have some big stuff that you don't want to haul around, you could easily just talk to one of the shops at Disney, and they'll ship all your stuff back to the hotel. Seeing that you may be staying at a Disney resort, they can just ship it all back to your hotel room, and it'll be there by the time you actually get back there. It'll be there. I highly recommend not taking more than what you need into the parks. It's also a hassle when you're just getting to the park and you need them to actually go into the bag and check all your stuff before you go in for security. It just makes it a whole lot easier when you don't have a whole lot. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Like the video if you haven't. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Much appreciated. Just a heads up, these are all recommendations on stuff that in my opinion makes the trip a whole lot easier. It doesn't work for everybody. I know my mom has stuff that she ends up taking on the trip that's a little different than mine. There are a lot of people that do that. So again, these are just recommendations that I think would make the trip overall a little bit more fun and a little bit more enjoyable. If you have any recommendations yourself, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.